Resolution 194. General Assembly resolutions are recommendations. They do not confer rights. Any Israeli lawyer can bring this up if it ever comes to a real debate and discussion. So, first of all, be cautious. There's a moral right, but it's not a legally established right. And even Resolution 194 was qualified. But the other point to recognize is that we know it will never happen. There is not going to be, it's an ugly world. It's not a pretty world, but we can't pretend that it doesn't exist. If there was, the PLO has understood this for 50 years. It's understood that the most that can be hoped for is some kind of symbolic return, family reunification, small groups, and so on. But millions of Palestinians coming back to Israel will never happen. There's no international support for it. If it ever developed, Israel would use its ultimate weapons, up to nuclear weapons, to prevent it. So it's simply not going to happen. And we shouldn't dangle in front of poor people's eyes hopes that are never going to be realized. I mean, I visited refugee camps in Lebanon, Sabra Shatila camp, for example. It's pitiful, it's painful. You get invited into a small room where a Palestinian family lives in a horrible slum, greeted with the usual Palestinian warm welcomes, cup of tea, and so on. And they show you the key to their home in Galilee, which they're never going to give up. What can you tell them? You can't tell them it's not going to happen, though you know it's not going to happen. Well, it is, in my view, immoral to dangle in front of people the hopes that they know will never be realized. I don't know how to, I mean, it's a terrible situation. Many like it in the world. Unfortunately, it's not going to go away.
Yeah, I'd love to ask this one from our colleague Jeff Sachs, who thanks you. He wonders about the term futurity, which is part of what frames the series that you're part of. Since Israel is a settler state, I wonder if you think we should be speaking or thinking about its futurity. Might other terms be more appropriate when we try to think about settler states? Should they have a future?
No, we shouldn't have states like the United States, the supreme settler colonial state. Yeah. Are we going to get rid of it? No. We can say, yes, the settler colonial project, which virtually wiped out the indigenous population. You want to use the term genocide. This is one place where it fits. Knew exactly what they were doing consciously. Well, is it going to go out of existence? No. Where I'm sitting is occupied Mexico, conquered from Mexico in a brutal war of aggression. U.S. conquered half of Mexico. Is it going to give it back? No, not in this universe. So yes, lots of hideous wrongs in the world. We live with the world as it is now. Can't help it. You can try to compensate for things that were done, but you can't reverse history.